Okay folks, I am going to be back at it again today. I am going to pull paneling off the walls and start looking at how I'm going to do the wiring. So without further ado, here we go. I'm just leaving the paneling back behind these cabinets. These are actually in there pretty solid. There's nothing moving those. And you can see how the paneling was in through there. So I want to go ahead and leave that. Of course, this electrical is going to be taken out. But I'm getting to the point where I'm going to be running my wiring, so that's why I'm clearing out the walls. I haven't quite decided on that back end yet, if I want to tear it out too, but because I am going to need some lighting back there. I'm going to need to run wiring all the way down here. Right down here is where I plan on putting the hot water tank, and then I had another sink laying out here somewhere. There it is. Look at this layout here. Kinda hard to be a cameraman. So basically, I'm going to set it up. Right back there is going to be my wash, rinse, and sanitize sinks up along this wall. just like they're laid out there, spread out a little bit. Then that'll give you a little bit of room in here to work. This sink will go about like that. Of course, up on the wall. I'll build some reinforcement in there to hold that up. And then somewhere right in here is going to be a vegetable sink. Probably sitting up about here, wherever the counter is going to fall in. And then I'll have countertop all the way along this wall. I'll probably put the microwave right up here. I'm going to mount a little shelf right along here. That'll be microwave, so I'll have to have power here. And maybe one or two outlet, well, one outlet along this wall somewhere, at least. And then there'll be a refrigerator right here, just a regular stand-up refrigerator. So I'll need an outlet for that. And then I'm going to have a counter across here. And then there's a service window. And then there'll be a freezer right here, because pretty much I need a freezer for ice, because we run through a lot of ice in the summertime, because we run, whether it be a shaved ice machine or mixed, frozen drinks like smoothies and frozen coffee drinks. we go through quite a bit of ice. We need a freezer for, this will be here, the freezer here will be for our ice cream, our novelty ice cream. Ice cream sandwiches, SpongeBob, Snickers ice cream bars, Haagen-Dazs, you name it. The refrigerator that I was saying was going to go over here is going to be for our food items. And then I have an under counter freezer. I haven't decided quite where I'm going to put it. I'll probably put it over here underneath the counter. That's going to be for frozen foods. We do like chicken sandwiches and things that you microwave. So I want to have it relatively close to where the microwave is going to go up there. Maintain this cabinet for storage. This cabinet for storage, it's the same as the other one. And then I'm probably going to put a cabinet up there for storage. And then probably one back here. Like I said, I have to have a freezer here, so I have to have enough room for that freezer door to pop up. So I still have, I think, room to put some storage up here as well. And I think that's going to be it for storage. But right now what I'm doing, I'm going to end up taking this wall out and framing it in and making it a little sturdier. And I may put another, I haven't decided, I may put a faux wall in there, depending on how sturdy this is in here and whether I think it's going to hold the 3 sinks. So it's going to have to be modified to make sure that it'll hold. Close that before I knock my noggin. Don't want to knock my noggin. This is coming off pretty easy. Tonight, my primary goal is to clear this wall so I can start working on some electrical. Try to finagle those off with my crowbar. Demo tools of the trade. For those of you that want to know, the hand washing sink I refurbed from my other concession trailer when I changed everything out in it. It is a little smaller. So I reconfigured it. Maybe I'll give you a tour of it. a future video. I'll have to cut around all of this. I mean, this is all put in there after the fact. Over there. That's going to be in there. Got a little bit of floor popping up there. This is not the original full floor. Somebody's come in and put subfloor in. And I noticed it's popped up a little bit. I don't know what they had it bolted into, but it is what it is. I may not be running electrical back here, but I want everything to be flush running along this wall. So it's not going to hurt if you pull it out anyway. There's a lot of people out there that wouldn't tackle a project like this. But when you're talking, for a, 30, 40 grand for a brand new concession trailer. I picked this trailer up for $500. And with the materials I put into it, it's going to be a fraction. I mean, this, you figure drywall for this entire wall, it's not even 8 feet. So I'm saying it's a 6-foot ceiling. You're talking, let's see, 6, 4, I'll waste a couple feet. But you figure 4 feet wide. What is this? Probably 5 sheets, maybe 6. $30, I'll have this completely dry. All I'm going to have to do is tape. I'm not going to have to do any other finish to the drywall because I'm covering it with FRP. The FRP is a little bit more expensive. Well, in my goodness, a lot more expensive. FRP, you're running about $25 a sheet. So even with that, you figure liquid nail, that's what I'm putting the FRP on with, you figure probably $40 to $60 for a 5-gallon can of it. That's what I'm thinking. I may be wrong on these prices. I'll let you know as I get closer to that stage. But even with all that, I'm going to have this thing completely skinned out and redone, the walls and everything, for high-end, probably about $400, if that. Like to go a little bit more expensive. Nothing for a few hundred feet of wire. We're talking $30, $40. I already got it purchased. Yeah, this is all going to have to come out. And then you figure a few dollars a piece for your outlets. The box was the most expensive thing, but I can't remember what I gave for it. But I've got a pretty hefty electrical box out there that's going on. I want to hook it up. I'm going to do a 50 amp circuit service, and I think that's pretty standard. And the place I plan on parking this, I think they'll be willing to get the service up and running for me. There's quite a bit of power out there. If not, I'll be converting things real quick. So just so you know, yeah, I am still doing the eBay thing. This isn't a replacement hustle, this is my original side hustle, and that's the business that my wife and I have going. We've got 2 ice cream trucks. We've got a little ice cream Jeep that I have to. Okay, a couple things I have worked. I mean, this is part of the life of an entrepreneur sometimes, especially if you're just running a small mom and pop operation. I've got another trailer right there. I've got this trailer I'm rebuilding. That trailer over there is finished. It's run for about 3 years at a local beach. I've got over here, let me see if I can give you a quick view. That one, there's a trailer, and the Jeep sitting right next to it. But I've got the truck over there is, it has, it's not running. Right now I just realized it's an 88 Chevy P20 step van. And an old delivery van. And I've had problems with it for a few years, and it finally just gave up the ghost. I just couldn't get it to stay running. So I thought, that year model was one of the first models. They had throttle body injection, and I guess it was a precursor to fuel injection that we have today. So I considered just converting it back over to a carbureted system, just because they're easier to work on, at least from the way I feel. It's a lot easier to work on carbureted system. Well, I was going to take the take the manifold off, and as I was fiddling around with the throttle body unit, a piece came loose. I'm like, that's not right. So I'm Mr. YouTube Mechanics. I figured out what piece it was. And it was some air control air control valve. And what I do know about engines is air, spark, and fuel. Those are you need a balance. The right balance of those three things for your engine to run. So right away I knew that if that piece wasn't working, then it was going to cause issues. And the issues I was having was the truck was, for the longest time it would turn over but not start. And then it just gave it, it wouldn't even do that. So I changed that piece out. I was able to get it started but not run. I could only keep it started if I pressed on the gas. So I knew there was something wrong with the timing. So I got to looking at it, my distributor was completely hand loose. I mean, I could sit there and spin it all day long. So I got to looking at that, and the distributor, there's only a nut down there that holds that on. But the nut doesn't hold it on, it holds a bracket that holds the distributor down. So I went over there earlier. I'm going to tighten that down. I understand my timing's going to be completely off. But now I've got my battery's dead, so I got the charger sitting over on it. And I'm hoping that I don't have to change the distributor, because I've never changed the distributor, but it doesn't mean I won't try. And I'm sure that you can tell by this project that I don't mind trying a lot of things. But anyway, that is what it is. Look at that. We created a mess. I've got all of the wall off, the wall covering. You can see all the way down. I do have to go back in and clean up all the nails. And as you can see, I created a huge mess. And we'll get that cleaned up here in a minute. Every day you work on a project like this, it's very important that you clean up. If I give anybody any advice, everything you can look up on YouTube how to do, But the most important lesson you can learn is cleaning up after you're done for the day. There's nothing worse than coming in the next day, coming to work, and having to trip over a mess. Before you get started for the day. It's easy to get motivated when you're at the house. And you come up with a plan to get done, and then all of a sudden you get there and you can't even start with your plan. So you gotta clean up first. I had a regular dustpan in here, but right, love it or leave it. If you guys ever have any questions, concerns about what I'm doing, my ideas, or have any input, let me know. I am just an amateur at this. This isn't my first rodeo, but by no means am I a trained professional. I've just grown up in the construction business most of my life. I've avoided having a career in it, but a lot of times it's just, if I've got the tools, I just soon saving a buck here and there. This thing just gets so expensive. I mean, all power to those, you know, if I can't do it, I'm the first one, excuse me, to hire a professional. But I found that there's a lot of things that are not that difficult to do. Well, I'm not going to say not that difficult. They're not impossible to do yourself, as long as you just take the time to try to figure it out. I was just telling the guy today, I'm not a big mechanic. I don't like to mechanic. It's not, by no means is it one of my favorite things to do, but just for instance, I've got two trucks that I showed you a picture of the truck earlier. I've got two of those that I run. One's actually running pretty good. It's out on the road right now, selling some ice cream. But last year the transmission went out in it. This truck was not running, so, and it was right at the tail end of the ice cream season. So I actually took it upon myself to slide the transmission out of that one and put in the other one so that I didn't have any downtime while the other ones get rebuilt. No, I didn't rebuild the transmission. That's something I would not do. But I'm able to change, take one out, put it back in, and as long as you do your research, a lot of those projects you can do yourself. This one here, I can't find a decent mechanic locally. The ones I've tried have pretty much burned their bridges with me. I don't know, just people flake out. And you move on to the next one, I guess, until you've pretty much exhausted most of the mechanics. probably one of those things that you get what you pay for. And I like to help the small guy out. So that hasn't really panned out for me. So anyway, it is clean. That is the amount of work I'm going to do today. So we are going to, next time I'm going to be putting in electrical, putting my boxes in. I think I'm going to do one side at a time. I haven't decided yet. I want to get this wall completely done, and I want to probably tear that wall out right back there. The closer I looked at it, just to kind of give you an idea. There's, I don't know if you can really see it that well, especially down here where the seam is. It's pretty beat up and gnarly, so I'm probably going to pull all of that off, and that way I can get some electrical in there as well, maybe a light. But I'm going to probably take this wall out and this one. I mentioned that earlier, just because I'm going to build another wall here. I'm going to frame it out, give me something a little sturdier to hold the sinks up instead of, because this is just, I mean, right here, I could pop that off. I almost screwed up. I broke the mirror. I didn't need that mirror anyway, but it would have been a bad end of a good day. But it's moving on. So with that, I'm going to cut out for now. Please hit the subscribe button if you want to continue this journey with me, and hit that like button. I mean, it's a second of your time. If you did get anything out of it, you know, that just shows us that, you know, as content providers, that it just makes us feel a little bit better about what we're putting out there. And yeah, I mean, that's really all I want it for. But anyway, that's it for today. I will catch you later. Peace out.